Hello, beautiful people. It is Timotha Lanae, and I promised y'all a video on bone broth, and that's what I'm going to give you. So right here, what I have, if you see this is Amish raised chicken feet. You see how they look? They even got the fingernails on them. And then also these are just leftover, like these are bones and those are backs and necks from when I get organic rotisserie chicken. So the important thing about when you're making bone broth, which is high in collagen and just has all kinds of things that are really good for your overall connective tissue health. It helps me with my gums and my teeth. I talk about that. I was having a lot of bleeding, and it's helped me bleeding in my gums when I would floss, and it's really helped to diminish that and almost eliminate it completely. What you want is like the feet and the necks and the back, because those have all the collagen, the nails and the spine with the back and all of those different things. We're slow cooking this in order to get all of that collagen extracted, all of that healing collagen. So these I got, you want to make sure that it's quality, organic, and not, and free range, no chemicals, no hormones, because you're going to be absorbing that if it's not. So these are Amish raised chicken feet. And also when I'm preparing this, I use gloves. So these, I just get these from the butcher, the feet. You can get the necks and backs from the butcher as well. But these backs and necks I just got from the carcass of the rotisserie chicken that I get actually at Whole Foods. When you get, they have it there, the organic, hormone-free, antibiotic-free, all of that. So I just, after I take all the meat off the bone from those chickens, I just save like the spine and everything from that. So what you want to do first is roast it at 400. You see I have this big, it's just the brand of this roaster oven. It's a 22 quart. And it's Oster is the brand. You want to just have it roast at 400 for 1 hour. So I just am going to set the timer at 400, put the top on, let it roast. And then after that, what you want to do is, after it's roasted, you can, take this out. So this comes out, this pan comes out. You can take this out, and any fat that's in there, you can pour that off. And then, or you don't have to do that, but I like to try to do that sometimes, just because there's not that fat after, once the bone broth is done. But the fat is lighter than the broth, so it'll float to the top, so you could scrape it off in the end as well. But then after you've roasted it, just to get it so that it's not raw, that you're making the broth, then you just cover the bones with water. So you don't fill it up to the very top. I mean, you could fill it pretty high, but you just cover it just a little bit over if you want it really, really potent. And then just let it slow cook, y'all. I mean, slow cook for 1 to 2 days. So 24 hours is what I used to do, but the last batch I made, I did it for 48 hours. And when I had my functional doctor test the therapeutic value was like a 10. The way that you know you have really good bone broth versus the kind that you get at the store is when you put it in the refrigerator, once it's refrigerator temperature, it should be like gel. It shouldn't be like water. So when you get the bone broth from the store, a lot of times if it's in the refrigerator, it'll just stay liquidy. But if the real bone broth, like from these chicken feet and from these backs and stuff that you make yourself, it's literally like a gel. That collagen is so strong in there. So now this is step 2 of the process. All the chicken feet, they all got roasted along with the backs, and now I'm cooking it with water, spring water at 200, and I'll do that for about 48 hours. You could do it for 24 hours as well. So I'm going to cover it. You just bring it so that it slightly covers the bones and let it sit. Right before you cook it with the water, you want to make sure that you add like 1/4 of a cup of apple cider vinegar to the water you're going to cook it in, and let it soak for about 10 to 15 minutes to help extract the collagen out of the bones. And then you can put it on to slow cook for either 24 hours or 48 hours at 200 degrees Fahrenheit. And I also wanted to add, I forgot to do this time, and I'm so mad at myself, but when you can add aromatics like onions, garlic, celery, carrots, whatever you want to add to it, to your bone broth, even ginger, whatever you want to add, you can add, but be careful about how you add it and when you add it. Don't add it too soon, because you're slow cooking it, it'll just dissolve and be a mess. So you add it when there's about 6 hours left towards the end of your cook for your bone broth. So I would add this in when I had 4 to 6 hours left. And what you do, don't cut it up too small. Literally, you just cut the top and the bottom off. Obviously, peel this off, wash it, and then just put it in. So you wouldn't even cube this or anything. And it comes out real soft and really dissolved because it's been cooking for 6 hours or 4 hours, however long you've been able to put it in. And then also, if you do that with garlic, don't mince up your cloves. You could literally just cut some cloves off, just put them in there. Same with ginger, cut big chunks, put it in there. Celery, you could just take the celery stalks and just cut it in half. Well, obviously washing everything, cut the tips off and just put it in there. So you put everything in chunks, carrots in big chunks, because it's going to slow cook. So just wanted to say, if you want to add aromatics, this is the one to do it. I don't add any salt or anything like that to my bone broth, but this would also be the time if you wanted to add that, you could do that. I just like to salt my stuff after instead of salting it before. So it gives you a little more versatility, a little more freedom instead of salting it ahead of time. But add your aromatics, 4 to 6 hours remaining, and then make sure you don't cut them too small so that it's not a big mess at the end. But this, you can leave them whole. Now that it's slow cooked for 2 days, I go through with this type of kind of a spaghetti type spoon, and I literally just take out all of the parts. I take out all the parts and throw them away. I have a double bagged here just from the store, and I just throw all the parts away like that. And then so after I've done this, then what I would do is pour all the bone broth into a bowl and then strain it, so that I'm straining out some of the bits and more bits that I wasn't able to get out with this actual claw-like spoon. But so then after I do that, then I just start to put the bone broth away. I pour it into ice trays, because I use ice trays to actually, this bone broth will last me about a month and a half. So I pour some in mason jars that I can use right away. But then the ones that I'm gonna use just throughout the next month and a half, I put it into ice trays so that I take out, 1 or 2 cubes, and I might put it into my beans if I'm making some lentils, or if I'm making some pinto beans, or if I'm making a soup. I take out whatever the desired amount is and put it into that. So that's one thing that I do in order to be able to make my bone broth in bulk without it going bad. So this is the final product of my bone broth. You can see how much of a gelatin consistency it is. That is that collagen in there that's been extracted, and that's what really is going to help heal the body. I take it daily to help with my gum health, my skin, my hair, my nails. My nails are much thicker. I've always had very thin, brittle nails, and now, like, see this thumbnail here, it's harder to bend it back. It's just all of those things have happened. I've been on bone broth about 2 months now. About a month and a half. I made my first batch about a month and a half ago, and so this is my second batch. So just in that month and a half, my gums have been healing and better. My nails are stronger. I feel like my skin tone, my skin had been doing pretty well anyway, because I do sea moss as well, but adding this in has really helped with my gums a lot. Now this, for me, this gel here, this bone broth, is actually more liquidy than usual. I have made bone broth that's much thicker, but I purposely filled my water a little higher than usual over the bones, so that I could make more bone broth, have it last and stretch a little longer. So if you want it to be even thicker than this, which my last batch was even thicker than, it was like I could turn this over and nothing would pour out of it. But this, you see how it would pour out. The other one was so solid, I could turn it over and it would just be thick in there. Then if you want it like that thick and that concentrated, don't cover it with that much water when you have the bones. You just put just a little, you literally have the bones almost peeking through. For me this time, I probably put about 1.5 inches of water over the bones. So I put a lot of water over the bones. So it's still got therapeutic value to it, but it's just not as concentrated as if I would have just covered it. and not diluted it so much. So this is just more of a diluted version, but it's still very therapeutic. And make sure to sign up for the Skin Glow Challenge that will be coming up very soon with Sea Moss Skin Glow Challenge. I'm putting a lot of work into making sure that that challenge is very comprehensive and very well-rounded, so that it's not just, oh, just take sea moss every day, put a sea moss mask on, but it's really kind of about lifestyle. So make sure not to miss that challenge and get in on that. I'll link to where I get my sea moss in the description box below and also in the pinned comment below, so you can start to stock up on your sea moss for when that challenge starts, which will be very, very soon, probably in the next couple weeks. Let me know if you try this. Make sure to subscribe, like, and share for more videos. I'm Timotha Lanae. Take care, God bless, and I'll see you in the next video. Don't forget to subscribe.